closing. Only heard when no one stays. He locked the door behind me, turned the little sign around. The street kept moving in the rain, but inside there was no sound. He said this one is not for daylight, not for anyone in haste. Then placed the record on the table, like a secret kept in place, only played after closing. Only heard when no one stays, a song for all the love that never found the words to say, only played after closing. Warm and low beneath the rain, some records do not ask to heal us, they only hold the ache. The singer sounded almost near, like she stood beside my chair. She did not reach for anyone, she simply left the feeling there. The guitar bent one quiet phrase, then let the silence come. I thought of all the ways I loved you after loving had been done, only played after closing. Only heard when no one stays, a song for all the love that never found the words to say, only played after closing. Warm and low beneath the rain, some records do not ask to heal us, they only hold the ache. Said the wrong ears make a memory turn louder than it should. Some songs are meant for people who already know the cost. They do not bring the past back, they give the past a place. So I stayed until the ending, till the brushes faded thin, till the backing voices gathered like warmth arriving in. I did not need to take it, I did not need to own. Some songs are only lanterns for the walk back home, only played after closing. Turned it to the light, only played after closing, then placed back out of view. I left the song behind me and took only what was true, only played after closing, only heard when no one stays. The street was wet, the shop grew dark, and I walked away. The shopkeeper knew the song before I said a word. I stepped in out of weather, shook the rain from off my coat. He looked at me for half a breath, then reached beneath the shelf. I never told him why I came, never said I miss someone. Still he chose a record carefully, like he knew what I had done. The shopkeeper knew the song, the one I needed late at night, not the one that breaks you open, the one that leaves the room warm. The shopkeeper knew the song, the one that asked for nothing back. He let the needle find the groove and let the silence do the rest. The first verse moved like coffee steam, low and easy, almost kind. Then the guitar bent a little more and opened what I hid. I thought of all the years since then, how distance learned my shape, how love became less like a wound and more like something safe. The shopkeeper knew the song, the one I needed late at night, not the one that breaks you open, the one that leaves the room warm. The shopkeeper knew the song, the one that asked for nothing back. He let the needle find the groove and let the silence do the rest. He polished one old sleeve and did not ask me how I felt. He understood that some confessions only happen when unheard. When the record reached the ending, he waited till the room grew still, then said, "Some songs do not fix us, they just help us carry less." I did not need your answer, I did not need your hand. I only needed one old record to say what I now understand, that love can stay a kindness even when it has no place, that memory can visit without taking all the space. The shopkeeper knew the song, and I finally knew it too. It was never asking me to turn the past into something new. The shopkeeper knew the song, then put the record back away. I thanked him with a quiet smile and walked out in the rain. The shopkeeper knew the song before I said a word. put the record back before I could ask the price. The final chord was fading, the shop was almost dark. Rain moved softly down the window. Street lights trembled on the glass. I reached toward the old sleeve without knowing what I meant. The owner smiled and shook his head like he had seen this before. He put the record back behind the shelf. Some songs are not for keeping, some songs return themselves. He put the record back, and I let my hand fall slow. What I needed was not ownership, only somewhere to let go. I thought of how I loved you, how I wanted one more sign, how I tried to keep the feeling long after it was mine. And the guitar bent once more inside the echo of the room, like a final quiet answer to a question without use. He put the record back behind the shelf. Some songs are not for keeping, some songs return themselves. He put the record back, and I let my hand fall slow. What I needed was not ownership, only somewhere to let go. Did not need another copy, did not need to hear it twice. The first time gave me everything I had come there to find. Let the record keep its mystery, let the shelf keep what it knows, let the shop grow dark behind me, let the rainy evening close. I do not need to take the song, I do not need to stay. Some love becomes more beautiful when we leave it where it played. He put the record back and the room returned to still. I kept the gentlest part of it, released the rest at will. He put the record back, then opened up the door. I walked into the rainy street and needed nothing more. He put the record back before I could ask the price, and somehow that was right. record store was still awake. The rain had emptied every street. The taxis passed like shadows. One little shop kept glowing at the end of a narrow road. I stepped inside for shelter, for warmth, for nothing more. But the owner reached behind him and placed a record on the floor. The record store at 2 A.M. held a song I couldn't name. It did not ask where I had been. It did not ask who was to blame. The record store at 2 A.M. let one old feeling breathe. And for the first time in a long time, I did not need to leave. The singer sounded close enough to know the shape of loss. She never raised her voice. She never turned the grief to show. And the guitar bent behind her, soft and tired, almost kind. And I thought of the one person I no longer had the right to find. The record store at 2 A.M. held a song I couldn't name. It did not ask where I had been. It did not ask who was to blame. The record store at 2 A.M. let one old feeling breathe. And for the first time in a long time, I did not need to leave. I wondered where you were, if your room was warm and still, if the years had treated you gently, if your days had found their shade. Then I let the questions loosen, let the answers remain far. Some love does not need contact to remember what we are. The backing voices gathered like a blanket in the dark. The road stayed soft beneath him. The bass moved like a heart. I did not ask the owner to sell the record after all. I only stayed until the needle reached the center of the song. The record store at 2 A.M. held the love I could not send. Not as a wound, not as a promise, only as a quiet end. The record store at 2 A.M. turned the old ache warm and blue. I left the song behind the counter and stopped reaching back to you. At 2 A.M. the record store was still awake. The street was wet, the night was kind. away. If we've had no photograph, still I saw your face. The cover had no lovers, no city, no design, only faded paper and a seam worn down by time. The owner set it near me like a letter without words, and lowered down the needle, and the room began to turn. The sleeve had no photograph, still I saw your face. Not the way you looked back then, but the feeling that remained. The sleeve had no photograph, still the room grew warm and blue. Some songs leave an empty space where memory walks through. The singer did not raise her voice, she kept it near her chest, like she had finally stopped asking love to do the rest. Then one low guitar answer curled beneath the line, and I remembered how your silence used to sound inside of mine. The sleeve had no photograph, still I saw your face. Not the way you looked back then, but the feeling that remained. The sleeve had no photograph, still the room grew warm and blue. Some songs leave an empty space where memory walks through. The exact day, the exact place. Time has softened all the edges, left only tenderness and shade. Maybe that is how we keep what we cannot bring along, not as proof and not as promise, only somewhere in a song. Let the sleeve stay empty, let the record hold the weight, let the image disappear while the feeling learns to fade. I do not need to keep you in the way I did before. I can let the music carry what I cannot carry more. The sleeve had no photograph, and I finally understood. Some love loses all its details, but still keeps a little good. The sleeve had no photograph, still the final note came through. I saw less of who you were and more of what I learned from you. your face. Then the needle lifted and the image lost its place. The needle found the truth before I was ready. The owner lowered it slowly, like he knew the weight of sound. The room became a smaller place. The rain moved farther out. At first the record only breathed a Rhodes chord, soft and warm. Then the singer leaned into the line like someone staying warm. The needle found the truth hidden underneath the noise. The needle found the words I never gave my voice. The needle found the truth and let it rise without a fight. I did not need to call you, I only needed one more night. The guitar answered after her, a little darker, a little slow. Not enough to break the spell, just enough to let me know I had kept one part of loving you still folded in my chest. Not because I wanted anything, only because it had not rested. The needle found the truth hidden underneath the noise. The needle found the words I never gave my voice. The needle found the truth and let it rise without a fight. I did not need to call you, I only needed one more night. They stole another morning. Now I know a heart can revisit without returning to the road. It can touch what once was heavy and finally set it down. Let the groove keep turning, let the brushes stay soft, let the harmony come warmer as the only drifts off. I do not need an answer, I do not need a sign. The needle found the truth and left the rest to time. The needle found the truth, and the truth was not a plea. It was only one old feeling, asking to be free. The needle found the truth, then the record ended slow. I left the silence in the shop and let the weather go. The door gave way. The old man looked up and let the needle play. I came in from the midnight rain with nowhere I was trying to go. The shelves were full of sleeping songs. The room was amber, dim and slow. He asked me what I came to find. I said, I don't know anymore. He smiled like someone who had heard that answer many times before. He played the record he wouldn't sell, the one he kept behind the shelf. It sounded like a love that never learned to ask for help. He played the record he wouldn't sell, and every note felt close and low, like someone I had loved once was finally letting go. The first side opened quietly, just Rhodes and brushes, soft and plain. Then one guitar bent through the room like a voice held back for years. I thought of all the words I saved, the ones I never should have sent. How silence sometimes carries more truth than any message meant. He played the record he wouldn't sell, the one he kept behind the shelf. It sounded like a love that never learned to ask for help. He played the record he wouldn't sell, and every note felt close and low, like someone I had loved once was finally letting go. He shook his head and cleaned the glass. Some records lose their names, he said, but not the hearts they passed. I listened till the final chord fell softly into room and rain, and understood some love survives by never asking life again. I used to think the ending needed both of us to speak, but the record kept on turning without asking who was weak. Maybe all I needed was one song I could not own, one voice to finish loving what I had to leave alone. He played the record he wouldn't sell, and I stopped wishing it was mine. some songs are only borrowed for a little borrowed time. He played the record he wouldn't sell, then lifted up the needle slow. I left the love inside the grooves and walked back into rain. The sunset closed, the street turned blue. The record stayed behind, and so did you. There was dust on the B-side, but the needle found the song. The shop was nearly closing, the lights were turned down low. I moved between the records like a place I used to know. The owner watched me quietly, then reached beneath the counter. He said the first side tells the story, but the second tells the truth. There was dust on the B-side, there was silence in the groove. There was something almost tender in the way the record moved. There was dust on the B-side, and a voice I couldn't place. Still it sounded like the words I never said to your face. The singer never raised her voice, she barely crossed the room. She sang like someone understood how longing changes shape. Then the guitar bent behind her, not to wound but to confess. And I thought of how I loved you more quietly at the end. There was dust on the B-side, there was silence in the groove. There was something almost tender in the way the record moved. There was dust on the B-side, and a voice I couldn't place. Still it sounded like the words I never said to your face. Kept it there. He said some songs are not for sale, they belong to those who need them for 1 hour before they leave. I watched the label turning, no title, no year, no name, just a circle carrying sorrow till the sorrow softened down. Maybe I had come to listen to the part of me I hid. Maybe every old affection needs a room where it can sit. I did not need to call you, I did not need to explain. The B-side held the answer and returned me to the rain. There was dust on the B-side, but the sound came warm and clear. It carried what was missing, and it left me standing here. There was dust on the B-side, and the record turned once more. I let the final note stay inside, then walked out through the door. There was dust on the B-side, but the needle found the song, and I finally understood why some love plays on alone. There was a love hidden in the grooves, waiting for a quiet room. The shop was full of old beginnings, every shelf a sleeping year. I moved slowly through the aisles, with the rain still in my hair. The owner watched me for a moment, then brought a record from the back. He said, "This one is not for buying, only for the nights that ask." There was a love hidden in the grooves, not mine, but close enough. A love that had no ending, a love that learned restraint. There was a love hidden in the grooves, and it sounded almost true, like every word I never said had finally found its tune. The singer stayed inside the quiet, never pushed the melody. She sang like someone had accepted love could leave and still be love. Then the guitar bent beneath her, low and warm and slightly late. And I remembered how I carried you long after I changed shape. There was a love hidden in the grooves, not mine, but close enough. A love that had no ending, a love that learned restraint. There was a love hidden in the grooves, and it sounded almost true, like every word I never said had finally found its tune. Private side of tenderness they never the sleeve. I only need the way it sounded when the song began to leave. Let the backing voices gather, let the final chord stay low. Some love is hidden in the groove, so the heart can let it go. There was a love hidden in the grooves, and I let it finish through. I kept the warmth, released the weight, and stopped reaching back to you. There was a love hidden in the grooves. Then the needle lifted slow, the song stayed in the record, and I walked home alone. There was a love hidden in the grooves, waiting for a quiet room. And tonight, the room was mine. No name on the label, no year on the sleeve. Still the song knew what I came to leave. He placed the record carefully beside a little reading lamp. The jacket had no photograph, no title pressed in gold. I asked him who the singer was. He only shook his head. Some voices do not need a name to say what must be said. No name on the label, still it sounded like you. No name on the label, still the feeling came through. No name on the label, only circles turning slow. Some love does not need a language for the heart to know. The singer kept her voice so close, like one more step would break the spell. She did not plead for anyone, she did not ask for help. Then one slow guitar bend arrived and hung beneath the air. I thought of how I still say your name when no one else is there. No name on the label, still it sounded like you. No name on the label, still the feeling came through. No name on the label, only circles turning slow. Some love does not need a language for the heart to know. signed and sealed. Wanted every unanswered thing to tell me what was real, but the nameless song kept spinning with no promise and no proof. And somehow that was gentler than the answers I once chased. Not every love needs naming, not every loss needs blame, not every old affection needs another life to claim. Some things remain unspoken, some truths remain inside, like a record with no label that still plays through the night. No name on the label, and I did not ask again. No name on the label, only warmth beneath the rain. No name on the label, but the final note came true. I let the song keep turning and stop turning back to you. No name on the label, no year on the sleeve. Still the song knew what I came to